Hey everybody, Paul here. Moving into a condo can be a convenient and affordable lifestyle choice. However, within that choice are many options available to you that you need to think about. Now first, if you're considering moving into a condo, you've already decided that you can get along well with people and groups and committees and boards because you're going to have to adapt to that as opposed to having a little bit more freedom and autonomy that you would have as a homeowner where you can kind of call your own shots. In a condo, that is not the case as to the color of your unit. Things you can or cannot have outside of the unit including things like a clothesline or a hammock or things like that. I mean, forget about it, especially if you have a militant sort of neighbor who makes it upon his or her duty to adhere to the rules and see that you adhere to them as well. And believe me, this does happen. So if you can live within those boundaries and guidelines, a condo lifestyle has a lot of advantages, including being able to come and go as you please, having the exterior of your unit maintained, including snow plowing, exterior painting, roof cleaning, things like that. When you're looking for a condo, keep a couple things in mind. First of all, if you're going to be living downtown in an urban area, you may not have access to open space that you can plant flowers or vegetables in. So what you may trade off for being around amenities in an urban downtown location and around a lot of people and things that you like to do, the drawback to that is that you're probably not going to have the open space that you might have if you were in a suburban condo, where generally you're going to have things like an open space, open areas, public garden usage, perhaps adjacent to forested areas or nature preserves and things like that. So if those kind of things are important to you, really check out looking for a condo unit outside of a downtown area into a suburban area. And you can kind of get the best of both worlds in that regard because you may be adjacent to those open space areas, community gardens, and you'll have a little bit more space around you with the advantage of being in that condo situation where you can kind of lock up and leave at your will and still enjoy the cost savings over owning a home. Another thing to consider is if you've rented apartments in the past, say when you were younger, out of college, what have you, living in a condo where units are on top of each other is very similar to living in an apartment, people. So don't think that just getting into a condo, if you're in kind of a high-rise kind of situation or a multi-unit kind of building with units stacked on top of each other, that it's going to be much different than apartment living, because it's not. Other than you are owning that unit, you have an asset that hopefully will be a good investment for you. But aside from that, the same kind of issues that arise in apartment living are going to arise in that multi-unit kind of condo lifestyle, including obnoxious neighbors, too much noise. So if you have an owner who's leasing out his or her unit, the people in that unit probably aren't going to be as respectful to the community, or they may not be as respectful to the community in things like noise as they would if that person were invested in the unit and were living in it themselves. And I've heard of a couple anecdotes about this kind of thing happening where unit owners adjacent to those noisy units have had to write letters and emails to the board, because you never deal directly with a problem in a condo unit. You always go through an intermediary, someone on the board or someone who's been assigned to that role, to prevent any conflict between people. So that's a good system, but still, you may have to write a letter, and then that message gets forwarded to the owner of the unit, who then has to reprimand their tenants, etc. That's why, if time is on your side, you may want to check out living in a condo unit where the units are side by side. and ideally with garages separating the units. That's the best case scenario. Moving into an association where the units are side by side has an additional advantage that you are on a ground floor location, and more often than not, you're going to have access to a patio area or a public communal area where things like you can put out your gas grill, where you can plant flowers. Maybe you don't have a community garden in that area, but you can at least grow flowers and vegetables in pots, as many people do, and get creative in that way. So you have a little more flexibility. Some people feel the need to be downtown. You know, they have to have that energy of being around people, being around art museums, restaurants. They have to be right in the thick of it. And just understand that if you require that there are going to be some compromises you're going to have to make, opposed to if you're willing to move a little bit out of a downtown area into a suburban or even neighborhood location where you're going to have more flexibility in getting into a unit that are side by side, with communal and patio areas, which may increase the quality of your life looking down the road. Hey everybody, thanks a lot for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new on board here, and let me know your comments below if you're in the market for a condo, what your experiences have been shopping for a condo, or if you're in a condo, and if you'd like to weigh in and add to this discussion, would really be appreciated. See you real soon, guys.